I ran barefoot, rain biting my skin, cold and cruel. My clothes clung to me like shame, and my scent, too raw, too exposed, leaked through every step I took. Suppressants had stopped working. They always do when heart breaks. Behind me, the crystal ballroom still glowed. Music played. People whispered. But louder than all of it was his voice in my head. I choose her. He said it like I was nothing. His fiancée stood beside him in that golden dress. Fake smile, curving lips I once thought mine. I felt everyone's eyes, their judgments, their pity, and him, standing there like he didn't know what we shared. What he took from me, my body burned, my scent twisted in the air, tainted by grief. He didn't chase, he didn't even flinch, just looked away. I ran until my legs gave out, fell to my knees in the alley behind the hotel. The rain washed my tears, but not his scent. It was still on my neck, on my wrists, under my skin. His scent never fades. That's the curse of being marked, even if it wasn't official, even if it wasn't deep. Just one press of teeth, one whisper against my gland. And I broke. My fingers curled into my chest. I wanted to rip it out, this bond that wasn't real but still controlled me. That made me want him even now when I should hate him. Why did I believe him? 3 months ago. It was a warm afternoon. I had just joined as a personal assistant to his mother. Quiet job, quiet life. I kept my head down, scent sealed. I was just a background shadow in their world of chandeliers and power. And yet, he noticed me. At first I thought it was accident. He would brush by me in the hallway, eyes flicking too long. Once I dropped tea and his hand steadied mine. He didn't let go immediately. "You're different," he had murmured. I laughed, awkward. "I'm just working here." But his scent betrayed him. It flared, possessive, confused. Alphas don't lie with their noses. I started noticing small things. My favorite tea always brewed. My heat suppressants replaced before I asked. And one day in the library, he sat beside me. Too close. His thigh touched mine. My skin prickled. "Do you take these every day?" he asked, holding up the bottle of pills. "Yes," I replied. Quiet. He didn't speak, just stared, then placed the bottle down and leaned forward. "I want to know your real sense." I froze. "You shouldn't say that." His breath was warm on my cheek. But I already did. After that day, he changed. He would wait outside my room, silent, watching. Once, when my suppressant wore off for a few hours, I caught him standing by my door, breathing deep like he was starving. "You smell like storm," he whispered, voice hoarse. I should have left then, but I didn't, because somewhere in that cold mansion, his warmth reached me. I started looking for him too, counting seconds until I'd see him pass by. It was stupid how quickly I started hoping. Then came the night he touched my gland. It wasn't a bite. Not yet. Just lips brushing soft skin. But it was enough to bind me emotionally. Omegas. We're cursed that way. We bond with scent, with silence, with stolen moments. I remember his hand on my back trembling. "I want to mark you," he said. I turned, heart racing. "But you're engaged." He didn't deny it. He just said, "I'll fix everything." I believed him. That night, I dreamt of a small apartment. Just us. Maybe a window where light poured in. Maybe mornings where his scent was the only one around me. But dreams, they lie. Reality came like a knife. I was summoned to the engagement party. I didn't want to go. I begged his mother to excuse me. She smiled with coldness only rich women possess. "Your staff. Not a lover. Don't forget that." I wore white. Big mistake. My heat suppressant had started acting weird. My body was confused. Pheromones unstable. I walked into that glittering room like prey. And there he was, by her side, smiling. For a second, just one. Our eyes met, and I saw it. Regret. Then I saw fear. He stepped forward, almost like he'd call me, reach out. But someone whispered in his ear. His father maybe. And he stepped back. When I moved closer, trembling, I whispered only loud enough for us to hear. "Do you deny what we had?" His lips barely moved. But they stabbed. "I choose her." I shattered. Right there. My body flushed with heat. My scent spilled like blood. Gasps. Murmurs. Judging eyes. Cold air, loud music, spinning lights. I ran. Now kneeling in the alley, I trembled under rain. My heat would start soon. Full one. And he wasn't here. Of course he wasn't. Because status matters more than scent, more than bonds, more than me. I curled into myself, hugged my knees, rain soaking into my bones. If I survive this, I'll erase him. Even if my body remembers, even if my scent never forgets, even if my heart still waits. I remember the first day clearly. The mansion was too quiet. Marble floors echoed under my shoes like I wasn't supposed to exist there. I held the file in my hand tighter, kept my head low, scent tightly suppressed. I was just a live-in assistant, nothing more. I told myself that again and again. He wasn't even supposed to be home. They said the heir stayed in the city, away from family affairs. But the moment I stepped into the hallway with the tea tray, I saw him, leaning against the wall, sleeves rolled up, shirt open at the collar, and he was watching me. I didn't look at him long, just a glance, a flinch and then back to the floor. But I felt it, the weight of his gaze, like heat crawling over skin that wasn't meant to be touched. I tried to be invisible. I cleaned quietly, moved through the halls like a ghost. Every morning I checked my suppressants, made sure no scent leaked out. Omegas like me, we survive by silence, especially in homes like this. But he kept showing up, small things. One morning I found a fresh mug of tea by the window I liked. No one knew I sat there. No one but him. Another day, the spare blanket I used during cold evenings was replaced, softer, warmer, expensive. Then one night I couldn't sleep. I went down for water, and he was already in the kitchen. No lights, just moonlight through the wide glass windows. He didn't speak at first, just turned, glass in hand, eyes catching mine. My fingers trembled around the faucet. Then he stepped forward, quiet, careful, too close. His hand brushed mine as he passed me a glass. "You always drink cold water at night?" he asked, voice rough like gravel soaked in honey. I nodded. "I can't sleep sometimes." He was close enough that I felt the pull of his scent. He wasn't masking it completely. It was sharp cedarwood and rain. Familiar, comforting, dangerous. "You always wear suppressants?" he asked. I paused, then lied. "Yes." But he leaned in, just slightly, and inhaled. His nose brushed the air near my neck. His lashes trembled. "You smell like rain," he murmured. I froze. My heart slammed against my ribs. That was the first time he touched me, just his fingers brushing my wrist. Light. Almost accidental. But it wasn't. I know that now. Back then, I thought, maybe he was just kind. Curious. But it was never that simple. After that, he was everywhere. Every hallway I passed, I'd feel him behind me, watching, never speaking, just breathing me in. I'd check my scent seals 3 times a day. But still, his nostrils would flare. He memorized my schedule. When I woke, when I stepped out for groceries, when I sat under the fig tree in the back garden and let the sun touch my face for just 10 minutes, he was always nearby. Once I heard him speaking on the phone. In the study, door cracked open. "She's still here," he said. Silence. "No, I haven't touched her. Not yet." At that time, I didn't even realize he meant me. I was too naive, too soft, but the signs were there. He started lingering near my door. Late at night, I'd hear footsteps pause outside, and just stay, breathing, like his body wouldn't let him walk away. My scent changed once, just for a day. Pills got delayed. I panicked, wore double layers, avoided everyone. But he found me in the laundry room. I dropped the towel when I turned and saw him standing there. He wasn't supposed to be home that day. His eyes were wild, lips slightly parted. He stepped in and shut the door behind him. I backed into the corner. He didn't speak, just stared. Then inhaled deeply, slow, almost reverent. His voice came out rough. "Your scent is real today." I shook my head. "It's nothing. Just one day." He stepped closer. "Don't hide it." "I have to." "Why?" "Because I'm no one. And you're—" "I'm what?" I swallowed hard. "Engaged." He stared at me like that word hurt him. "I didn't choose her," he said. I didn't know what he meant. I didn't want to ask. That night, I pushed the dresser against my door. Not because I feared him, but because I feared myself. Because a part of me wanted him to knock. After that, he became colder. But only on the surface. His scent still betrayed him. Whenever I walked into a room, I'd find it lingering. Sharp, angry, desperate. He didn't speak to me for a week, then left a note beside my tea. "You're the only one who ever made me feel human." I didn't reply. I couldn't. Because my heart started aching in places I thought I'd hidden well. My body remembered his nearness. The way his fingers felt. The way his scent tangled into my hair even without touching. I told myself it was passing. Infatuation. Not bond. But my heats grew heavier. Even with every time he was near, my glands ached. He'd avoid touching me, but he never stopped watching. Once, I collapsed in the hallway. Suppressants crashing hard. He caught me. His arms strong, scent wrapping me in a storm. I tried to pull away, weak and burning. "Don't, please," but he whispered into my ear. "You think I don't dream about you?" That night, I locked myself in the attic. Sat with my knees to my chest. I wasn't prepared for this. For an alpha who looked at me like I belonged to him. But never said it out loud. Never made it real. Only left breadcrumbs of obsession. And I followed them, hoping they would lead to love. But I should have known. Alphas born into thrones don't choose broken things like me. They just keep us close. Just enough to breathe. Never enough to stay. It was raining again. That kind of rain that smells like endings, wet asphalt, crushed petals and unsaid things. I stood beneath the crooked awning behind the staff building, hugging the file folder to my chest, trying to pretend I didn't feel his scent in the air. But I did. His scent always reached first before his footsteps, before his shadow pulling something deep inside my chest until I couldn't breathe properly. Then I heard it, that familiar rhythm of shoes against stone. Not hurried, not hesitant. Just shh. I turned, and there he was, soaked in rain, shirt clinging to him, eyes wild, lips parted like he'd run through hell just to find me. "Why did you leave?" he asked. I looked down. "You know why." He stepped closer. "I didn't mean to hurt you." I laughed, bitter. "Then why did you?" His hand trembled as he reached out. Not to touch, just to exist near me. "Because I'm weak." He was close now. I felt the warmth of his breath. His scent coiled around me like smoke, sharp, stormy, unrelenting. "I miss you." My heart cracked. I turned away, body tense. "Go back to her." "I can't. She's your fiancée. She's a cage." That moment, it happened too fast. 1 second I was pushing him away. The next I was pinned to the wall, his lips crashing onto mine. Rain mixed with tears, maybe his, maybe mine. His hands framed my face. Gentle, desperate, like he was trying to memorize the shape of my regret. "I can't breathe without you," he whispered between kisses. "I can't think. I can't sleep." His lips trailed down my jaw. My body tensed. Then I felt it, his breath against my gland. "No," I gasped, but too soft. Too late. His teeth brushed it. And then, he bit. Not deep enough to mark forever, but enough to claim. Enough to burn. My whole body went still. The bond, half-formed, unstable, rushed like fire through my veins. My scent exploded into the air. I felt him inhale sharply, groaning like something inside him snapped. He pulled back, panting, eyes glowing. "I'm sorry," he breathed. "I didn't mean to." I stepped back, clutching my neck. My voice broke. "You bit me." "I know. You promised you wouldn't." I couldn't stop. Tears spilled before I could stop them. He moved forward again. "Let me explain." "No." I shoved the file into his chest. "I'm resigning." His eyes widened. "What? I can't do this." "But you're mine." "Then why am I your secret?" His lips parted, but no words came. Just silence. Heavy and suffocating. I walked away, didn't look back, didn't cry until the next morning. That was supposed to be the end. But fate has cruel timing. 2 weeks later, his engagement party. I didn't want to go, but I was still on contract. They made me serve drinks. Tray in hand. Body shaking, I walked into a hall lit with gold and decorated like a fairy tale. Everyone looked perfect. Except me. And him. He stood by her side. Smile cold. Shoulders tense. But when our eyes met across the room, he broke. My hands trembled. I felt heat rising beneath my skin. The bite still itched, still burned when I thought too hard. I walked to him slowly. People watched. Curious, confused, whispered. I stopped right in front of him. Her hand looped through his arm, like property. But I didn't speak to her, only him. Do you deny the bond? I asked. Loud enough for everyone to hear. He stared at me. Seconds passed. Long. Heavy. Then he nodded once. I do. I heard glass shatter somewhere behind me. My knees weakened. I turned and walked away. I didn't feel my body move. I didn't hear the gasps, only his voice echoing in my mind. I do. Like I was nothing. Like we were nothing. Outside, the heat hit me full force. Suppressants couldn't hold anymore. My scent poured into the wind, raw, broken, needy. I stumbled down the steps, clutching my stomach, mouth open but no sound. The sky spun. I collapsed before I could scream. And somewhere behind me, he never came running. I thought I was safe here. Far from the city, far from him, far from the cold glitter of his world. I found this apartment on the edge of nowhere. No doormen, no scent registries, no questions. Just creaking floorboards, peeling walls, and silence thick enough to hide a heartbeat. I sealed every window, lined the door with blockers, took my suppressants with shaking hands. I didn't leave. I didn't speak. I barely breathed. But even then he found me. It started with a hum beneath my skin, that familiar ache in my glands. I checked the calendar. My heat wasn't due yet. But my body didn't care. It came early. Violent. I locked myself in the bathroom, curled on the tiles, biting down on a towel to keep from screaming. My scent broke through everything. Sticky, desperate, loud. And then, I felt him. Not footsteps. Not a knock. Just him. His scent pierced the barrier like a blade, cedar and storm, wild and wrong. My body responded instantly. My breath hitched. My thighs trembled. No. I whispered. No, no, no. The door slammed open. I couldn't move. He stood there, hair soaked with sweat, shirt half torn, eyes glowing like an animal too far gone. His rut was full, uncontrolled. He shut the door behind him, locked it. I backed away. My heat made everything blurry. My knees didn't trust me anymore. I told myself not to come, he said, voice rough, chest heaving. But I can't. You need to leave, I choked. I feel you, he growled. You're in heat. You're in pain. I smelled it. I pushed against the wall. Don't touch me. He staggered forward like a storm. Then why is your scent calling me? I didn't mean to. His hands slammed the wall beside my head. I shook. Please. He leaned in. His nose brushed my neck. His breath was hot and hungry. I begged them to keep me away from you, he whispered, voice cracking. I begged myself. But you. He inhaled me like I was oxygen. You ruined me. I started crying. I don't want to bond with someone who leaves. But he wasn't listening. He pressed his body to mine, mouth trailing heat down my throat. My gland throbbed. His scent poured into the air like smoke and ash. I hated how my body opened for him. Hated how my skin burned where he touched. He licked my gland. I screamed, not in fear, in surrender. Then his teeth sank in. Deep. Real. Permanent. I shattered. My heat folded into his rut like two storms crashing. Our scents collided, then melted. We were loud, clumsy, frantic. He bit again, kissed the mark like it was sacred, held me so tight I couldn't breathe. His voice trembled in my ear. Mine. Again and again. Mine. My nails dug into his back. My cries soaked his skin. And still he didn't stop. Until my body went limp. Until I couldn't move. Couldn't think. Until his name was the only word I remembered. Then silence. I woke up cold. The sheets were stained with scent and tears. The room spun. My body ached. Marked inside and out. The bond was sealed. The air was empty. He was gone. No note. No clothes. No scent. Just silence. Like he was never here. I tried to sit up. My neck screamed. My gland burned. I touched the mark. It throbbed under my fingers. Real. Deep. Forever. And he was gone. I waited a day, 2, 3. Every knock outside made my heart race. Every silence after it made me cry harder. By the 5th day my scent soured. The bond tugged and pulsed unmatched. Hungry. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I cried until my glands bled. Until even the mark began to fade at the edges. Until I realized he had what he wanted now. He didn't need to stay. I was just heat to him. Just scent. Just one night. And that's when something inside me broke. I should have known silence never lasts long. 1 week. Just one. That's all I got after he left me marked and empty. I stayed locked inside that scent-suppressed apartment, curtains drawn, lights off, trying to breathe through the ache in my neck and the echo of his name in my bones. I told myself I was safe now, that I could forget, but safety is a lie when you belong to someone else. It happened at dawn. I was barely awake when the door exploded inward. Suits, boots, gloves, masks, the kind of men who don't speak. They just act. I tried to run. One of them grabbed my arm. Let go. I screamed, body twisting. My pheromones flared, wild with panic, but they didn't care. One of them jabbed a needle into my neck. Everything spun. And then, darkness. So, when I woke, I was on a hard floor. My wrists hurt. My mouth was dry. The room smelled of rot and perfume. Expensive perfume. Familiar. Then I heard her heels. Click, click, stop. She knelt beside me, long nails digging into my jaw as she forced me to look at her. You really thought he loved you? She asked. Voice too sweet, too sharp. Poor little stray Omega. Always crawling where you don't belong. My vision blurred, but I spat the words. You won't keep him. Her smile didn't falter. No, but I can keep you far away. No matter how strong your little bond is, you're still nothing. I felt her scent press against mine. She was dominant, bred for power, status, fear. I couldn't fight it. My heat hadn't ended properly. I was weak. She leaned close. By the time he finds you, if he even bothers, you'll be unbonded. Faded. She left me there. Locked in a house in the woods. No windows. No time. No scent blockers. My body began to give out. The incomplete bond howled inside me. Every second stretched like glass against skin. I stopped eating. My scent thinned. I could barely lift my head. I thought I'd die there. But bonds don't die quietly. Not ours. I don't know how he found me. I just remember the moment the air changed. Thick. Charged. His scent hit first, raging. Then screams. Crashing. Doors being torn off. I heard a man yell before something cracked. Bone or wall, I'll never know. Then his voice. Low. Rough. Terrifying. Where is he? My whole body shook. The doorknob twisted. Then the door was gone. Ripped off its hinges. And there he stood. Hair messy, shirt torn, hands bloodied, eyes glowing gold with rut and rage. He saw me on the floor and froze. Something in him shattered. He dropped to his knees beside me. I tried to speak, but only a broken sound came out. His hands trembled as they touched my face. Who did this to you? He whispered, voice shaking. Who? My body collapsed into him. My scent rose up in weak pulses. He flinched. Then growled. Not like before. This was primal. Possessive. Dangerous. He pulled me into his lap, face buried in my neck, inhaling like he couldn't get enough. You're mine. His lips found the mark he left. He kissed it softly, then bit down, not to hurt but to remind. You're mine, he whispered again, voice broken. Always were. His scent flared. Everyone outside must have felt it because no one dared come near. His scent blanketed me like fire, like home, like chains. And I let it, because for the first time, I wasn't afraid. I was his. I had promised myself if I ever saw him again, I would turn my face away. No words, no breath, no second chances. But now, he was on his knees in front of me, rain dripping from his hair, hands shaking, head bowed like he was begging the earth to swallow him. And I couldn't look away, because his scent wasn't arrogant anymore. It wasn't demanding. It was bleeding, soft, regretful, like mine. I should have come sooner, he whispered. But I didn't know they'd touch you, lock you up. I stood still, My hands clenched. My bond ached. You left, I said quietly. After the bite. After the bond. You left me alone. His breath caught. His head slowly lifted. His eyes were red, swollen. I didn't leave by choice. I wanted to scoff. But my body wouldn't let me. My feet stayed rooted. My scent coiled in confusion. He reached into his coat, pulled out something wrapped in white cloth. I didn't know how to prove it until I saw this again. He unwrapped it. A branding iron. Burnt. Twisted. Blood-stained. My throat tightened. They tried to brand me after you left, he said, voice low. To bind me to her. Officially. Legally. So the engagement would seal the alliance. He pulled back his shirt. A scar ran across his shoulder. Deep. Ugly. I fought back. I refused. My heart slowed. I wasn't strong enough to protect you before. So I agreed to play along. Pretend. Until I could break everything from the inside. I stared at him. You rejected me. In front of everyone. He swallowed hard. I had to, he whispered. My father was watching. So was hers. They threatened you. Said they'd erase your registration. Strip your scent. Sell you into the black zones. My breath hitched. You think I didn't want to scream your name in that ballroom? His hands clenched. But if I did, you would have disappeared the next day. Silence stretched. My bond was still raw. Half-healed. I remembered the nights I cried. The days I couldn't eat. The cage. Her word. I should have hated him. I wanted to. But I couldn't forget the way he looked now. Broken. Real. He reached into his coat again and handed me papers. A deed. My name. A new home. Far. Quiet. Safe. No more hiding, he said. Voice barely a breath. No more running. I looked at it. The paper trembled in my hand. I don't want compensation, I whispered. This isn't compensation. His eyes met mine. It's a beginning. He stood slowly, careful not to move too close. I broke you, he said, voice shaking. But I want to rebuild piece by piece, if you'll let me. I didn't answer. I stepped forward. My fingers reached out, brushing the scar on his shoulder. It was real, just like the mark on my neck, just like the bond humming between us, soft but still alive. He leaned in, barely, waiting. I pressed my forehead against his. For the first time, I didn't flinch, and for the first time, I didn't run.